Hello, and welcome to Module 6.1D, Solving One-Step Inequalities. Our objective today is that I can solve inequalities using multiplication or division. So, example 7 is all about writing and solving inequalities, and it's more of a thought process exercise of how are we going about solving these problems and what is our logical reasoning path. So we have Alyssa has read approximately 1/4 of a novel. If she has read at least 112 pages, how many pages are left in the novel? Or how many pages are there in the novel? So the first thing that we always want to do with these word problems is figure out what is the task that we are being asked to do. We're going to describe it in our own words. In my words, it's how many pages are in the book. How many pages do we have in the book? And, well, let's see. I know the pages read, and I know a fraction of the novel. Okay, so I know the pages read, and I know the fraction of the novel. So how am I going to approach the task? How am I going to figure this out? Well, one thing that we could do whenever we have kind of problems like this is make an estimate. you know, So that's going to help me in my thought process of, analyzing whether or not the question or whether or not the solution that I come to is reasonable or not. So I'm going to estimate first. All right, well then, once I've estimated and I have a ballpark idea of what I should be coming up with, I'm going to then write the inequality and solve. So let's take an estimate. If we know that we've read a quarter of the novel and it's been 112 pages so far, I could make a rough estimate and say a quarter times 100 would give me, ballpark 400 pages. Okay, that'd be the neighborhood that I would say I'd be in. I'd be about that amount. So now we're going to write in and solve the inequality to represent the situation, with n being the number of pages in the novel. So I know that 1/4 of the novel times the number of pages of the novel is going to be greater than or equal to 112. Okay? And then I need to solve it. So we're going to solve by multiplying both sides by 4. And we get that n is greater than or equal to 448 pages. So the novel she's reading is at least 448 pages long. And do we know it's reasonable? Yes, it's close to our estimate. All right, and I want you to go ahead and just write an argument that would be used to defend your position. Go ahead and do that now. All right, so for every hour that Eva's electric car charges, she can drive the car 7.5 miles. She needs to drive the car at least 60 miles tomorrow. What inequality represents the situation in terms of X hours? So 7.5 times the number of hours is going to be greater than or equal to the 60. And when we go ahead and divide by 7.5, we're going to get that x is going to be greater than or equal to 8 hours. So in order for Eva to drive the distance that she's wanting to drive tomorrow, she's going to need to charge that car for at least 8 hours. Now, is this realistic? No, not even close to how long it takes to charge a car. Significantly faster than that. All right, so let's go to the next page. We've got the Outdoor Adventure Club, and they want to save at least $6,500 for its annual ski trip. Their goal is to raise $250 every week for X weeks throughout the private ski and private ski and snowboard lessons. Write an inequality that represents this situation. So the amount that they do every week for X weeks, so that's going to be 250X, we want that to be greater than or equal to the total cost of the trip that they need to raise, which is 6,500. And then we're going to go ahead and divide both sides by 250. And it's going to be X is going to be greater than or equal to 26 weeks. So you're going to need to work or raise money and do these lessons for at least half the year if you want to be able to pay for this ski trip. All right, there's a couple you try problems. I would like you to do those on your own, and then you're going to check your work against mine. So, a student club plans to buy food for a soup kitchen. A case of vegetables costs $10.68. The club can spend at most $50 for this project. So, our variable X is going to be number of cases, since it wasn't defined for us. So we have 1068X. It has to be at most, so it has to be less than or equal to 50, right? The amount of money that we have to spend is got to be greater than the amount of money that we're spending. Otherwise, that's not how that works. That's not how money works. So what are the possible number of cases? We divide by 1068. And we get that it's going to be 4.68 cases. So that's going to round out to be 4 cases because we can't buy fractions of cases most of the time. All right. The next one, we have a cheerleading squad earns $5.50 per car washed at a car wash. How many cars does the squad need to wash in order to earn at least $77? So at least 77 is what we're going for, and they're getting $5.50 per car. So $5.50 per car times the number of cars washed is going to be greater than or equal to 77. So we need to divide by 5.5 on both sides. And we're going to get X has to be greater than or equal to 14 cars. And now we have a kind of a check your work problem. Paige solved the inequality, negative 1/2 X is greater than negative 6 by using the division property of inequality to get X is greater than 12. Did Paige solve the inequality correctly? Why or why not? And then what is the correct solution of the inequality? Well, that second part kind of gives away the first part. No, she did not. She forgot to flip the inequality symbol. So in order to solve that, she divided both sides by negative 1/2. And she gets the right answer on the right side of positive 12, but she forgot that since she divided by a negative, she needs to flip that inequality symbol. So the correct answer to that is going to be X is less than 12. And those are the ends of our notes for today. If you have any questions, please bring them to class tomorrow. Otherwise, have a great day.